I got news for you. Gil and Lorena, who have been so cool. We ate lunch today together, and Gil and Lorena, they're famous for one thing, and you got a news for you. I don't know why I'm introducing all these people. They have 6 children. But here's the famous. They have 2 sets of twins. Wow. Let's give it up for my man, Gil Ramos. Come on.
Thank you.
Rock it, baby, rock.
So check this out. Everybody stand up for a second and give me your one finger up. We're going to play a little homage. And I don't know where she's at, but you're going to go, everybody turn to the back of the room. She should be around there, somewhere in there. She looks like Beetlejuice today. You see her? Does everybody see her? Everybody see her. She's got curly hair. I can't see her. Are you here, babe? Now everybody say, wow! I got one in. Appreciate you guys. So here's my story. I came to one of these meetings years ago, and I said, I'm not coming here. But this pesky guy named Carlos German said, Gil, if I fly you and your wife to beautiful Las Vegas, would you go to the meeting? I was like, bet, we'll go to the meeting. And I've told the story before. We walked into the meeting, and I was literally there to just say, I went. And I got Gene Frederick, and some of you guys have heard this story. I walked over, and I'm like, this guy is over there. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. And there was a bunch of people around him, and everybody just started walking away. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go walk up to him and ask him questions. And I asked him some questions, and I was so rude about it, too. I'm like, because I just wanted to get out of there. I had a 100-person brokerage at Exit Realty. I thought I knew what I was doing. And I walk up to him and was like, hey, man, you know anything about this EXP thing? He's like, I know a little bit. Make it a long story short, I'm like, hey, man, I was like, I understand you got this little app or something like that, and it shows you how much money. You making any money with this? He's like, I'm making a little bit. So I'm like, hey, man, show me your app. And he won't show me. He starts talking to me about this and that and connectivity and love and collaboration and stocks, but he won't show me the phone. And you know what I want. I want only one thing at this point. Show me the money. That's all I wanted to see. And this guy shows me his thing, and it's like $200,000. And I'm like, that's cool, man. Good for you. You made $200,000 a year? And he's like, no, that's what I made last month. I'm like, babe, come here. Meet Mr. Gene. I also want to say one more thing about my wife. My wife, we have 6 kids. Yeah, she has incredible ovaries. We have 2 sets of twins, right? But you know what she just reminded me a few minutes ago? She said, hey, you know what? Because I told her, hey, you know what I've noticed? And by the way, raise your hand if you have more than 5 kids. Raise your hand. Okay, so some of you guys need more kids. Because here's what I've noticed. There's a lot of big fucking players, Brent and Gene, that have 5 or more kids. And my wife wanted to remind me, well, babe, before you met me, you only had 2. Because I was like, all the winners have more than 5 kids. She was like, I gave you, you got 6 now. So that was like, okay. I was broke before I got you. Gotcha. All right, so let's go. So here we are in this beautiful place. And I'm super grateful for the opportunity to be here with you guys and to learn with all of you guys. I took a ton of notes. I hope you guys take some too. I'm here to share with you guys a little story about one of the best mentors, well, my beloved mentor. I was a young guy in real estate, and this older guy who came from the hotel business kind of took me underneath his wing, and I was like, I don't want to be under your wing. This beloved mentor, I fucking hated him. I hated him with a passion. I hated him so much. And you probably know why. It's because he was right a lot. He gave me some advice, and some of the advice he gave me wasn't exactly the way I interpreted it, so I want to share with you the 3 pieces of advice that he gave me. Now, by the way, I probably should apologize. I do cuss. In my culture, we welcome cussing, right? It's part of our system. It's who we are. We use the language. So please know that when I share with love. So if you hear me say a swear word, I just said, I love you. So let me tell you when I realized shit was hitting the fan. Last year, I was cruising along thinking we were impenetrable. Who gives a shit if rates go up, right? So January, and here's my numbers for our organization. We've got. I run a team. Our team, it's called Team Great, Gil Ramos Expert Advisors Team. And we were doing really well, and the market was doing really well too. In fact, January looked so much better than the January before, right? And February came along, and March looked great. Look at that. We're crushing it, right? We're over the market. Who cares if the rates just went up 1% in March? We're impenetrable. People are still going to buy and sell no matter what happens in the marketplace, right? And then we kept on going, and we're still another percent up. Interest rates went up another percent. And I was like, I don't even care. We're impenetrable. Remember in COVID, we were essential, right? Markets, we're still doing year over year. Look at that, now we're starting to even go up. Rate just went up another 0.5%. We're crushing it. And that's where I was like, wait a minute. Shit's about to hit the fan. And we crossed below in my organization what we had done the previous year. And I got scared. Now, when I get scared, it's a little different than the average person. I go through a whole range of emotions. And I heard that mentor get to me, and it went in my mind. He goes, Gail, what gets measured gets results. That was his panic word. That means you're about to get fired. You got about 30 days left. You better measure everything. And I just didn't, at my core, believe in that. I believe something completely different. Not everything can be measured. In the marketplace, things were changing. And it wasn't about a metric anymore. Because what we do is we work with people. And those people have a lot of emotions going on in their life. Pain, suffering, fear, love, inconsistency, consistency, discipline, all these feelings going on in their head. And that can't get measured in one of those KPI reports. People don't show up real well on reports. So this is what I did. We went back and we said, we need to gather everybody together. It's time to gather the council. And that's what we did. And this council, just so you guys know, consists of some amazing human beings. Because everybody's amazing if you listen. Everybody's got something to share. One of my favorite sayings is, you're the magic. If you listen long enough, you're going to find out there's something you can learn from everybody. We built the Culture Center. That group there, by the way, just so you know, we decided who was going to be our leaders based on who wanted to be a leader first off. Secondly, we worked with people who were team leaders already in our organization. We worked with people we decided people who have an organization, have a voice, they need to be part of that council too. And then we just wanted good people, because I think that's most important. Get the best apples in your council and talk with them and find out what is it that, if we were going to really do this and we were going to make this number go back up, how would we do that? So in our Culture Center, we go over blessings. Wait, what's good right now? Who do we need to give a shout out in our organization? What do we need to do this week to make sure that our people keep rising? We do go over our training, our calendars, our boot camps, event leaders, right? If there's a leader in the group, hey, what event are you going to do? You're going to be an event leader, right? Every single person in our organization is part of the organization. If you give them a chance to step up, they will. We talk about charitable events we want to do. What are the goals, the contests? Grenades. We do grenades once a month. I stand in the front, they toss grenades. Sometimes they explode. We just figure things out, but we talk about stuff. And as a group, we grow. We handle the copies and signs and leads and marketing. And it's all funded by transaction fees. Our office is 8,000 square feet, and it's all owned by the agents. I don't own it. It's all owned by the agents. So we talk about, hey, what do you want? I remember being asked a question one time by one of that same mentor. It's like, hey, if you own the company, would you make some changes? I'm like, damn sure I would. He's like, well, you have stock in the company. And I was like, oh, we need to make some changes around here then. What do we have to do to become our best selves? And for those people around us to join us there. Our mindset in our culture center, and your culture center might be just a room of 1 or 2 people right now, but this particular culture center has about 500 agents. We are a leadership factory. We embrace leadership. I don't know if you guys know this, but the only ship that sails is leadership. That's it. And it's up to you to make sure more people are on that boat. And you're teaching them stuff. And you're growing with them. And they'll paddle with you when the engine breaks. And that's what we did. We pulled out our oars. Say, hey, what do we got to start doing? We got to make sure people have skills. We got to work on production, right? As a leader, it's our responsibility to breed other leaders. Be a great father, mother, son, or daughter. Be a great member in the community. We win in every market. When you have that declaration, no one has fear. And when we don't have fear, we grow. It is the fertilizer of our growth. A couple other things we have in our culture centers. We have these cool calendars, right? So every month, if you want to copy our calendars, alliancecalendar.com. If you don't know how to do it, you can reach out to me on, best way to do it is on Instagram, Ramos Life. I'll match you up with my admin. My admin will show you how to build the same calendar. Everything that is taught throughout the month is being taught by another leader. Hey man, what are you great at? You're really great at open houses? I need you to step up. What are you great at? You're great at calls? I need you to step up. It's your time. Everybody has a skill set. A lot of them shine. By the way, some of these people are not even in my downline. There are people in my culture center, they're just good people, right? Like Mike Collier. Met that guy, I was like, this is good people. And he teaches the classes. In fact, he's on there twice. Open house tools with Mike Collier. Freedom Fridays. Every Friday, one leader steps up and they talk about EXP. And they break down the model. And they answer questions. And the entire organization knows every Friday we serve lunch, and every Friday somebody's stepping up who's a 6 or 7 figure producer. AllianceCalendar.com if you want to take a look at it. Man, that dirty bastard taught me something else. By the way, his name is Jim. I hate Jim. He taught me passion. And not in a very, it wasn't like, hey, here's passion. Because I think passion is something it's very hard to understand if I asked you to define it. It makes sense why you're confused. Some of you guys are thinking of some shower scene right now. I don't blame you. Sounds pretty good. Some of you guys are thinking about the Bible. 93 instances of the word passion in the Bible. Well, those two thoughts have very, very conflicting feelings, right? The Bible is talking more about suffering and love, and that's a weird dichotomy. I kind of like my boy Robert Kiyosaki's version of passion. See, he explains passion is anger. You guys remember in Avengers? You guys remember when Bruce Banner, if you didn't see this, I'll explain to you the scene. The Avengers just got their ass kicked, right? They really just got beat up over all these aliens that came out of the sky. They're just really getting pounded. And I love it when the good guys, they show the struggle. But they really struggled. They were tired. They were about to get beaten. And then here comes Bruce Banner, the Hulk, on his little motorbike. I was like, man, just perfect timing. But we need to turn back into the Hulk thing, right? And he starts walking towards the enemy, and he's like, hey, man, we'd really be great if you got angry or something and turned into Hulk. And he goes, that's my secret. I'm always angry. But I only showed you part of Robert Kiyosaki's definition of passion. See, passion is anger and love. And I always love. And here's where this dichotomy, this strange word that we talk about, passion, and we're like, man, that person has passion. Love that passion. Right? But inside there is two things that are happening. Something that somebody's running away from and something that people are going to go to. And the thing is, sometimes we can identify passion, but everybody has it. And I love this quote. Passion is what gives meaning to our lives. It's what allows us to achieve success beyond our wildest imagination. Super important you understand that last piece. It's beyond. See, you actually don't know yet. It may take you a lifetime to figure it out. But we do need to activate that, so I want to show you a way to activate that. See, right now, it's our time to embrace to all those brokers and all those agents that are out there in the field and give them a little love. Open yourself up for them. But we got to meet them where they're at right now. You meet them where they're at right now and you find out what's going on in their life. And here's one thing I know about most people. Everybody wants more. It's the sexiest word on this planet, right? You want more love. You want more financial freedom. You want more. We want more of the good stuff. Maybe not much of the shitty crap, right? But we want more. And I just want to help them get there. I call this concept the prosperity bridge. We open up. We find out where they're at right now. And we find out where they want to go. And the truth of the matter, for some people, that's a really high bridge. And we're going to have to pull them over the bridge. How do we do that? We put the plan together for them. And the weight of that plan will pull that bridge and make it very, very easy to bring them to where they want to go. We have that opportunity right now to do that with agents who are suffering. Who may be at the right now, they got some passion, but the anger part's really kind of holding them back. We give them the plan, we show them love. And that's what I want to do over and over and over and over, because the job's never done. And then that third lesson, it was the pivot lesson. It's that spot where, he used to say, it's like, hey, when shit hits the fan, just move the fan. What he really wanted me to know is that let the shit fall on somebody else, cover your ass. Don't make me look bad, right? Because I reported to him, I make him look good, I get promoted one day. That's Fortune 500 companies for you. But there's other things you can do in that portion, right? You can recognize that there's a problem, but problems bring opportunities. You have the courage to look. And I can tell you, it takes courage to look at your business sometimes when things aren't working out, because you're going to find out you're not doing something right. And that sucks, right? But it also can make you courageous. You see, I sat there for a while, and it was funny because when I went to that spot where the market went Brazil, I just happened to have COVID. So I really couldn't just do, let's go fix this, let's go. I didn't have my John Sy in me. Let's go! I was there, and I was thinking to myself, and I started thinking, and I started looking at my business, and I came up with this idea. The consumer is actually the most qualified buyer in the world. They buy everything after we sell them. They make Home Depot rich, title companies rich, mortgage companies rich. They give money to everybody. And I was like, let's go. So I decided this concept. You guys I don't know who's from Florida understands what this is. This is like, every state probably has one of these called SunPass, which we call it. It means if you drive on this road, we're taking money from your account. And those dirty bastards came up with a cool concept. It used to make sounds every time you passed the toll. So it would go beep, which means they took some money from your account, right? Then they came up with this system. It doesn't take money from you anymore. It doesn't make a sound. It just takes your money. Yeah. And by the way, if you live in Orlando, everywhere you go, it's taking your money, right? And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That's my goal in life, right? I want to become a toll booth. I call that toll booth Home Pass. You laugh right now, but you may want to install one of these in your life or in your car. I realized the consumer was spending money on a bunch of different things. Well, how can I create that toll booth between those opportunities between the consumer and mine? So I was like, well, first off, I need to standardize the pre- and post-closing process. I really wasn't doing a great job there. We were selling a lot of homes, about 300 homes a year, and once we closed them, we kept on closing, the next one, the next one, the next one. And I wanted to maximize and monetize the lifetime value of the client, which I've heard that so many times, and I really did not put enough thought in that. And because God loves me and hates me, he put me inside of a bed for about a week while I thought about that. I was miserable. I was thinking about all the losses that I allowed to happen in my own business. And I started getting really creative with this home pass thing. So I made some goals. I want to make money every time something sells. So we started going in on our closing process. This is a very simple e-property watch. You might even be getting it free from your MLS. Make sure that every single client has a post-closing experience for the next 10 years. If you don't have something that's going to your consumer for the next 10 years, you're probably not going to do business with them again, and you don't have a lifetime value proposition to capture them again. You know, we have this Utility Connect thing, and I wasn't using it. All of us have Utility Connect. Just a simple process for a VA to set up, hey, by the way, here's where you got to pay your utilities. And that's where it starts getting really cool. See, I learned that also there's this thing called Amazon that comes to my house every other day because my wife has a big credit card. And remember I said the consumer is going out there and spending money? Well, let me help them. See, with this program with Amazon Associates, I get to have my virtual assistant verify that the consumer is pretty good, and we get to set them up with stuff like, hey, here's the top 5 things you might want. And by the way, if the consumer buys any of this, you make money off of that, as well as anything they buy within 24 hours after hitting your link. You kidding me? Should be criminal. You make between 1% and 10%. Top 5 things. I started putting things in there. Hey, you're probably going to want a welcome mat. You're probably going to need a vacuum cleaner. You're probably going to need this cool thing so this way you can hang your pictures, right? And we just had our VAs going in there. And here's my belief. If you're spending money on a VA or administrator, they're supposed to make you money 4 times over. So every assistant or admin you have, this is how I built my business. If you pay them $50,000, they got to bring in $200,000. Start thinking about that while you're laying in bed. Say, everybody needs a new hose. You can't bring your old hose to the new house, right? So a bunch of things we just put on our top 5 lists. You know, we maximized our relationships with some of our, and you probably have ADT in your market. I'm not trying to get you to sign up for that. We realized that solar was such a big deal too, and was able to, find out another way for our agents to make money. By the way, all of these systems are for my team to make money, right? So we're like, hey, some of our buyers are buying houses and they're buying solar. It's like, we just need to be a home pass on that. Now we make $7,000 every time somebody buys solar. All right, let me wrap up with this. By the way, in your market, you might have other things that might be a benefit for your client that they're already going to do. Write this word down. Affiliate marketing. It's a pretty cool thing. This whole agent attraction thing. Do people know what you believe? I got to thank Veronica Figueroa. I think she's in the front row right here. She came to me and she's like, Gil, you're awesome, but nobody knows who the heck you are. I go to these places, like talk about my sponsors, like, who's Gil Ramos? So she was like, you need to get yourself out there. So I decided to go on Instagram this year and start telling people what I believe. Because if you don't tell people what you believe, how will they align with you? How do they know that you're such a great person? How will they know that you do all these crazy things? How do you know that you have a heart this big if you don't go out there and tell the audience? Your tribe is waiting for you to find them. So I got on Instagram, Gil Ramos Life. By the way, I started that less than 10 months ago. Thanks to Emilio and Hannah, by the way, my wife. So many other people who helped me. Maybe one of the videos like Gil, that's the guy who asked me. But through that, I was able to start attracting some people again. Because now they know what I do. Create a bigger audience so you can get better results. People right now are looking for that right now. When scary times happen, people look for the light. Tell them why they should be looking at you. Make sure you're putting out there some good stuff so people can learn without having to sell something to them. Just give your best stuff away, and they'll come to you. It's a great time in the market right now. Tell them how they can get freedom. Tell them how they can have a better family. Tell them how winning is done in your organization, and they'll come. I teach my people this. Our goal, and you see, I don't wear anything fancy. Like, I'm not a big fancy person. I don't have a super huge house. Like, we do really well, but I believe something. I want to teach every single person how to make money. So I teach them how to make money. Every single person, I teach them how to make money so they can spend that money on things that make money. See, money comes quick, but wealth takes time. Spend some time with people. Show them how to do it. We'll double in size. Just go out there and show some love. That's it. One last thing I want to share. You know, all the income you make is yours. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your future self. Make sure you honor that self. He's waiting or she's waiting for you in the future. So invest in the market. They're always talking about the market's on sale right now. It's Black Friday all year long. Teach your agents how to take advantage of the market. Some of them are afraid. Partner with them, as well as buy a few yourself. And here's why. I got a crew watching me, right? Just so you guys know, the guy who's covering his face right there, the big one, he's taller than me. That's my oldest son. He's in the Air Force. That's Anthony. Bella is right there. Well, I'll start from the outside. Ariana is one of the twins right there. Nataselli's is a twin, and then Bella's over there. And those are my youngest twins, and they're smarter than me and my wife, and they tell us that all the time. My wife actually literally asked my daughters, like, hey, do you think I don't know this? You think mommy's, she's like, you think you're smarter than mommy? And she's like, mommy, really? Why are you asking that? My wife has a Juris Doctorate. But you know what? I didn't come from money. But my grandkids and my great-grandkids and my great-great-great-grandkids will. We build legacy on decisions. Let's do that today. Okay.
All right, Gil Ramos, everybody. Killed it. All right. Well done, Gil. Great stuff.